this is Julie from Julie Chats, and I just wanted to show you guys a quick technique for foiling. And I got the idea from Christy Tomlinson from the Planner Society when she talked about it in her Instagram stories, and I realized that I had the exact supplies that she was talking about, and so I grabbed them and thought I would try them. These are pockets, die cut, little lacy die cut pockets from the November Planner Society kit. And I first tried the pink, and I used a toner pen. Now all the Mink supplies that I have are from Heidi Swapp, and this toner pen is black, and it's kind of like one of those, it's like a chalk marker that I have, or one of those metallic markers where let me see if I can open it. It's black, and at first this little felt part on the end is white, and so you shake it a little bit, and then you take it and you push down on the tip until the tip goes back up inside. Hold it for a few seconds and then look at it, and then keep doing that and stopping and looking at it until you see the black filling up the end of the marker. If you do it too much and you keep it held down for too long, then your black toner will just spill out all over your paper. And also do that on a piece of scratch paper that you don't need to worry about ruining, because you don't want to do that on your project. Then the second time, so I did that, and it took about 10 minutes. I shared this process on my Instagram stories, but I know those go away and they're vertical and stuff, so I thought that I would make a quick YouTube video for it. And you can tell that there are some marks which don't really show up. They're actually white from the paper, because I didn't get 100% coverage with the pen. I was a little bit in a hurry. I don't really mind that, because it's vintage and I'm going to use it in my planner, and I'm totally fine with a little bit of distressed look. But if you aren't, you want to make sure that you really do have the full coverage of the black on the project that you're going to do if you're using the pen. Now I got a little bit better coverage with this green one, and the green one is the medium that I used before I attached the foil was this reactive paint. And it's kind of it just seems like paint that's a little bit yellowish clear. I don't know, maybe that's because maybe it's not yellow in real life. But I probably had these products all sitting in a box for a year until I heard this tonight and just thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to do that. Sometimes I do that with supplies because I have a lot of supplies and I feel like I'm going to use them right away, and I don't. Of course, now I wish I did, because everything I owned would be gold. Or I mean metallic, at least, if not gold. So, all right, well, I wanted to show you with my last envelope how I did that. I'm going to take the reactive paint and just a sponge brush. This one's probably had the reactive paint on it for like an hour, and it's not dry. It's not dry. It's still sticky and works totally fine. I put a little bit of plastic down behind this because it's kind of a doily, and it will get, some of it will go through. Also, the other thing that I had happen was some of this paper, I just used regular notebook paper to send it through my laminator. And that did make the paper, this reactive glue did tear the paper and get a little bit on the back here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to run downstairs and get a piece of regular foil to put behind this. And I'll show you that. But I am going to take this and paint. I'm going to try and do this with one hand. Right now I'm holding my camera, but I won't be doing that always. I make videos for clients, and right now my camera is really high on the tripod above my table, and I wanted to kind of show you this one close up. So in the future I'll get the other setups all figured out. But right now I just wanted to get a video of this going so you could see how it looks. I dip the sponge a little bit in the reactive paint, and then I kind of dab it off a little. And it's kind of funny that I'm doing this for you guys, because my client project that I was working on tonight is videos that were sorry, obviously videos, but it's painting with stencils, and so I was daubing off the paint on those too. So it's kind of a little bit like stenciling, and then I just go along and make sure that I have some of the medium on all of the little lacy piece. So I used the brush with reactive paint all over the little lace doily, and then I ran downstairs and I grabbed a piece of foil because I'm going to use that to make sure that the notebook paper doesn't stick to the back side of this lace piece, because that's what happened on my green one. And let's see, there's a little bit of, oh, it's hard to tell here, a little bit of fuzz from the paper. It's a little bit hard to tell, but there's a little bit of it there, you can see, I guess, with the dark background of my hand. So I'm going to avoid that this time by putting foil in between the layers. And so I'll show you what that looks like. I'm going to sandwich it in between this and this. You know, I kind of had a change of heart when I started doing it. This side of this little doily piece is so sticky that I don't really want to fold it over yet. I lifted it up and I laid the foil down over there, but I put back on the other side of my plastic, and I'm going to lay the foil down on top of it and then fold it, because then I won't end up with that reactive paint all over my fingers that might take the foil off of this sheet. So a little bit of change of plans. On the foil, I just laid it a little bit above the edge. There'll be a little bit sticking out, and then the reactive paint starts, so that I didn't miss any of the parts that I want to have foiled. And then I try and lay it down as flat as I can so there aren't any bubbles in it, because if you lift it up once it touches the reactive paint, then the gold will have already adhered probably, and so we don't want to do that, otherwise you'll end up with a project that doesn't have the foil all over it. So try and lay it down as flat as you can the first time, and then I like to kind of push on it. It seemed to work on my other ones. And then I'm going to flip it over and trim this foil off, the extra, because you can totally use this later on another project. And so I'm going to cut that, and then it'll be ready to go in the laminator. So I just trimmed around the edge so that I'll be able to use that gold foil on another project, and then I sandwiched in the foil on the inside, and then I'll stick it in this piece of paper and run it through the laminator. And the other two that I did, I ran through twice, and I think I'll do that again. I've really only used my laminator for one other project, which was some laminated cards for my son's football team with all the kids' pictures. The parents wore them so we knew who all the kids were, and we could cheer for them. So that's the only other time. That's really why I bought the laminator. So this is really fun to be able to use it for something else, and I can't wait to do some laminated dashboards. But I'm going to run this through with the foil in the middle so that nothing sticks, and it'll go inside this paper so that it just, so the glue and things don't get inside the laminator, because that'll get kind of yucky, I imagine. I'm going to put this through 2 times, and then I'll peel it off so you can see it, and we'll be all done. In goes my little sandwich. And it takes a little bit to get it to all come out the other side. And there is a release button on my laminator, which some people have recommended using after it goes through. You can release it if you're too excited to wait until it's all finished, but I just wait. Some things I do get a little ahead of myself, but not with the hot laminator. Okay, it's been through the laminator twice, and now I like how you can see that the design in the gold, and so it gives you an idea that there will be gold all over your project. And I haven't had a time where it's been 100% coverage, but I'm really okay with that. I think that, you know, it'll be fine. I could probably keep practicing with the foil and on projects that I really cared about 100% coverage, you know, working on that. But I think that it's kind of a crafting thing, and we don't really have to get caught up with things being perfect. We just have to know that they're pretty. And so, all right, I am going to take the foil out of the center, and I think I need both hands for that. So even though I am a left-handed person, I can't do that one with one hand. So, all right, just a second. It does slightly tear the doily when it comes up because a little bit of glue had gotten through the back of the doily and onto the foil, and then it dried when it was in the laminator. So just be careful when you peel it off. I do have a couple spots that lifted up, but that's okay. I just want you to know that so that you're really careful and just lift that part up slowly. So now I'm going to take this, and this one isn't so hard to come up. It just takes me a minute to. Ooh. Oh, it's so pretty. This one does have some more spots where I didn't get 100% coverage with the glue, but I think that when you see it all shiny, that you won't really notice. It's just kind of a burnished, maybe a little bit vintage look, but I'm totally fine with that. So let's see here. Ooh, I like it. Okay, so this is this one, and this one actually is the one that has the most weight showing of the ones that I did. And I think that maybe I was a little bit too quick in putting on the glue, and I could have waited for a little bit longer until maybe it dried a little bit more, or I could have checked it out. That is where the toner pen is really nice, because the toner pen, it's black. And so you can tell when you color on something white that there's a tiny bit of white showing. And with the toner pen, what I would do is I would color as much as I can, and you can't do all 100% coverage on one coat. But if you let it wait a little bit, then I think you could cover back over the top. But I think my being excited to get the gold on there, or to get the colors on there, I didn't really want to wait and do more coverage. But here's what the pink one looked like with the toner pen. And those little marks, they kind of look black here, but that's where I didn't have coverage with the pen, and they're actually white when you see them in the light there. So there's a tiny bit of that. And on this one, I think I did a little bit thicker coverage, and so I didn't have as many white spots. On this one, I was trying to do a little bit less because I knew that the green one had stuck to the paper on the back. So this one has a little bit more white, but I think that's fine. You know, it's just kind of looks, to me, it reminds me of old things in the garden, and when you go to the vintage shops, you find things, and not everything is 100% covered in gold, and that's totally fine. So here is what that little pocket looks like, and it stands up like this in your planner. And I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to use this one for, but I do have a new B6 coming soon, and I think I will use it with that. But here are some gold things, and that is how you apply the gold foil. And I did it with my Scotch laminator, and it was set on the 5 mils, which I think is just a little bit hotter. And everything worked just fine. I know that you can do it with the Mink machine, and it has a lot more settings, and so I might end up getting one of those because I'm really liking the foil, and I hope you do too. So thanks for tuning in, and come back soon, and I'll make some more craft videos. Have a good night.